Hi everyone, welcome to an episode of Inside where we try and do a deep dive into a story and bring you all the angles of that story that you need to know. Today we're going to talk about the Narada Bribery Case, which you may have heard of time and again. The name keeps popping up during the election season, but after many years there has been an actual development in the case. Let's first talk about what exactly has happened recently. On May 17th, the CBI arrested 4 accused in the Narada bribery case. 2 of them, Firad Hakim and Subrata Mukherjee, are ministers in the current TMC government in West Bengal. Madan Mitra, the third person to be arrested, is a TMC MLA, and the fourth person to be arrested, Shovan Chatterjee, was with the TMC till 2019. He defected to the BJP and has since left the BJP as well. The CBI court granted interim bail to all 4 of them on the same day, but the CBI moved the Calcutta High Court seeking a stay on the bail order. The Calcutta High Court in fact stayed the bail order of the CBI court on the same day. They were placed under judicial custody in the Presidency Correctional Centre on the same day. On May 21st, the Calcutta High Court said that the matter will be heard by a larger bench and also gave the order that the 4 arrested will be placed under house arrest instead of jail. In simple words, the CBI plea in the Calcutta High Court says that the matter should be moved outside of the state of West Bengal, and they've also made the state government, including Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and Law Minister Maloy Ghatak, party to that plea. The CBI is essentially arguing intimidation and interference in the CBI's proceedings in the case. Now, if you remember, on the day that the 4 people were arrested, there were reports of stone pelting outside the CBI headquarters in Kolkata. The entire headquarters were gherawed by TMC supporters. Mamata Banerjee also went to the CBI headquarters and she was there for 6 hours. She dared the investigators to arrest her as well. There have been dharnas outside the CBI headquarters in Kolkata since those arrests were made. In the meantime, the CBI also moved the Supreme Court against the Calcutta High Court's order of house arrest for the 4 leaders and for the formation of a larger bench to hear the case. The Supreme Court plea has since been withdrawn by the CBI. And finally, on May 28, the Calcutta High Court has given interim bail to all the 4 leaders who were arrested by the CBI in the case. These are the latest developments in the case so far at the time that the video was shot. Remember, this is a developing case since the matter of the case transfer is still being heard in the Calcutta High Court. Now let's talk about what exactly is the Narada case, and let's go back in time and discuss what has happened in the case so far.
In 2014, journalist Matthew Samuel, who was at the time a part of news publication Tehelka, conducted a series of sting operations in Kolkata. The sting operations were published in 2016 before the assembly elections on a private news website, Narada News, which was founded by Samuel himself. The tapes allegedly showed TMC ministers, MLAs, MPs, and an IPS officer taking money from representatives of a fictitious company called Impex Consultancy Solutions in exchange for favors. You can watch our exclusive interview with Matthew Samuel on this channel. The sting operation showed TMC leaders Mukul Roy, Sugata Roy, Kakuli Ghosh Dastedar, Prashun Banerjee, Shuvendu Adhikari, Aparupa Podar, Sultan Ahmed, Madan Mitra, Subrata Mukherjee, Firad Hakim, Shovan Chatterjee and Iqbal Ahmed allegedly accepting bribes. An IPS officer, SMH Mirza, was also seen taking bribes. Former TMC leader Shankudev Panda was also seen asking for shares in Samuel's fictitious company in exchange for promised favors. The Calcutta High Court ordered a CBI probe into the sting operation in March 2017. In April 2017, the CBI lodged an FIR following the court order against 12 TMC leaders allegedly seen in the sting video. One of the accused, former Lok Sabha MP Sultan Ahmed, he died in September 2017. In November 2017, Mukul Roy joined the BJP. In February 2019, then TMC General Secretary, who was also allegedly seen In the Narada sting, Shankudev Panda joined the BJP ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. In August 2019, Shovan Chatterjee joined the BJP as well. In September 2019, the IPS officer SMH Mirza was the first accused in the case to be arrested. In December 2020, Shuvendu Adhikari also joined the BJP. There has been no action against the three leaders of the TMC who joined the BJP.
Now let's talk about an interesting and important aspect of this case which nobody seems to really talk about. The journalist who conducted the sting operation, Matthew Samuel, was the managing editor of Tehelka at the time. The majority stake owner of Tehelka at that time was a man called KD Singh, who was already involved with the TMC. He reportedly joined the Trinamool Congress in 2011, and in 2014 he was given a Rajya Sabha MP seat from the Trinamool Congress. Now Samuel claims that KD Singh knew of the sting operation from the beginning and that his company, the Alchemist Group, actually funded the entire sting operation. Now KD Singh completely refuses, he refutes his involvement in the case. He says that he did not know about the sting operation at all. However, Matthew Samuel claims that all the financial documentation of the funding of the sting operation he has submitted to the CBI as well as to the courts. Samuel says that after the sting operation was completed, KD Singh refused to publish the expose on Tehelka, which is why he had to start his own news portal called Narada News, where finally the expose was published in 2016, right before the state assembly elections. I spoke to journalist Matthew Samuel on this channel when the arrests happened, and you can check out that interview on this channel. But first, let's listen to a little bit of an excerpt from the interview. Mr. Samuel, for the benefit of our viewers, can you tell us in brief as to why you decided, you were with the Tehelka at that time when the sting operation started. Can you tell us why did you decide to conduct this sting operation into the TMC back in 2014?
So several occasions I explained this because you might be knowing in 2013, Tarun Tejpal episode, the sexual assault in Goa. So then he stepped down as an editor. Then the management, the head of the management, KD Singh, he called me. He told me he wanted to Tehelka to be back. His name, the name has to be back.
Yeah.
That was the exercise was going on. So then he given me a good offer. But he told me one condition. Some big operation, but one big bank story he needed. So we are journalists only. End of the day, we always going through the good stories, good delivery. That always matters. So then initially I was choose to do a sting operation in Madhya Pradesh or in Himachal. But again, it was in my mind, if I go against again the BJP government, again I will stand. I'm anti-BJP. So I always wanted to be independent journalist. I don't want to be like a stand to this party or this color, that party or that region, nothing like that. This is my thought feeling actually is gone. Then I came to this, it was, that the Sharda scam was surfaced that time. And many of those in Narada sting involved in Sharda also, not to forget. Not to forget that matter. Many of them involved in Sharda also. So that is the reason. And Bengali speaking people is more than 10 crores. Including Bangladesh is much more than that. So that's a huge, big society in India. Huge community in India. So then decided to move to Calcutta to try. Of course, there is a money needed, there is a time needed, of course, there is a luck also needed. So did the sting operation. And initial budget was around 24 lakhs, it's shoot up to 81 lakhs. What happened? Then KD Singh, that time, the initial days when I joined in Tehelka, he was in the JMM MP, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha MP. After this operation finished, he jumped into TMC.
TMC, yeah. So he
Then he was
became a
not,
TMC MP, Rajya Sabha MP during your investigation or after?
no. My investigation was going on.
Okay.
Meanwhile, then my investigation was almost finished. Then finally, I gone for an edit in my office also. When I come to know he joined in TMC. Then you might be knowing that he was not willing to. He always saying excuse one day, next week or next week, because Tehelka was a magazine.
Yeah, so
Next
he
week,
refuted his involvement with the staying. He said that he doesn't know anything about it. You said that
exactly.
you were funded by him, you were funded by Tehelka, and then he refused that as well.
Correct. Then finally he told me he cannot publish the story. I said, if you are not going to publish, because it is already started leaking, people are talking. Because many people are involved now. It is not only myself involved. I said, this is a big risk for those who are involved. It's a matter of risk. And also I wanted to publish the story because I'm a journalist, ultimately. Then he told me you can leave and wherever you want, you can publish it. Then I formed this small website called Narada. I thought of the story. This is the episode happened. And whatever money I received for this investigation, everything I give documentation to the Calcutta High Court, where I got the money, what exactly is number, telephone number, everything, one by one. Because that time, KD Singh having an office in Calcutta called Alchemist. His office staff used to come and deliver the money where exactly I was staying. This is what exactly happened.
Now let's talk about some of the questions that arise after the latest developments in the Narada case. Number one, why were the leaders accused in this case arrested now? The CBI filed its FIR against all of the accused back in 2017, and as far as we know, there is no new evidence in the case so far. At least there's no information of any new evidence in the public domain. So the timing of the arrests is most peculiar. The TMC is claiming that this is vendetta by the BJP for their crushing defeat in the recently concluded state assembly elections. But the question is that were the TMC and the BJP happy to scratch each other's backs when it came to this case, at least till the onset of the elections? And were the election results, or did the election results have something to do with the timing of these arrests? Now, sources in the CBI say that there have been multiple letters sent by the CBI to the Lok Sabha Speaker as well as the State Assembly Speaker to prosecute the members of parliament as well as the MLAs accused in this case. But they say that these sanctions were never given by either the Lok Sabha Speaker or even the State Assembly Speaker, and which is why the sanction was sought by the State Governor Jagdeep Dhankar, who gave his sanction in this case, which is why these 4 arrests were made. But the question now arises that why weren't these sanctions given by the Lok Sabha Speaker as well as the State Assembly Speaker for the past 5 years? They have been seeking, according to the CBI, they have been seeking sanctions from both of these parties since 2018. The third question, why aren't the other accused in the case arrested? Now, according to Matthew Samuel, there is no electronic evidence against Mukul Roy, who was with the TMC and now is with the BJP, and he is an accused in this case. There is no electronic evidence against him, but the evidence against everybody else who is accused in the case is pretty much the same. So why aren't the BJP leaders accused in this case arrested, and the remaining TMC leaders who have been accused, why aren't they arrested as well? Number 4, could the arrests have waited till the time the COVID-19 crisis was brought under control in the state? If the action in the Narada case could wait for 5 years,
Couldn't the arrests have waited for a few months till the time the COVID-19 crisis was brought under control? Because some of the people who were arrested are ministers in the TMC government in the state and were involved in COVID-19 response. So the question is, could the arrests have waited? The fifth question that needs to be answered is, was the sting operation politically motivated? KD Singh's involvement in the sting operation, although he claims that he wasn't involved in it at all, is most peculiar because journalist Matthew Samuel, who conducted the entire sting operation, claims that he knew of the operation from day one and that his company Alchemist Group actually funded the entire operation. KD Singh was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in January 2021 in relation to a different Ponzi scheme and also in relation to money laundering which involved his Alchemist Group. The last question that arises from these recent arrests of the accused in the Narada case is BJP sending a message to the TMC defectors who are in the party right now? There are speculations, there are rumors that a lot of them who left the TMC and joined the BJP before the elections are now wanting to go back to the TMC. So is this in a way a message, a warning by the BJP to the people who defected from the TMC? That is a question that is also very, very interesting. These are very, very pertinent questions in this case, but answers to these questions are ones that we may never find. If you like this video, don't forget to virtually like it as well. Share the video with your friends and your followers, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on this channel. Your engagement, your support is something that will help grow this channel. So please, please, please do support us. Thank you so much for watching this video.